Ordinary citizens by the thousands are helping shoulder the military burden in Saudi Arabia. Among these citizen soldiers, some 200 Atlanta area men and women of the U.S. Army Reserve 1015th Maintenance Company based at Fort Gillem. The 1015th is the largest local reserve unit sent to Saudi Arabia so far.
News at 10's John McKnight and photographer Neil Pursley traveled to the Gulf with the 1015th. Auto workers, teachers, computer operators, and students who also happen to be soldiers. Tonight we begin a series of reports on the 1015th, beginning with the long journey to Saudi Arabia and Operation Desert Shield.
Take your magazine out, put it in the ammo pocket.
See it, Kurt.
The 1015th has waited a long time for this day. Mobilized since September, waiting here at Fort Gordon in Augusta for 48 days, these Georgia citizen soldiers have finally received orders to deploy to Saudi Arabia.
Say cheese.
Families might wish their husbands, their sons, their fathers serve out their time here in the States. No one knows what the future will bring. Maybe it will bring disaster. Marching off to the parade field here at historic Fort Gordon, as generations of soldiers have done before them, most troops of the 1015th are tired of waiting and ready to go to work. This is a day of sadness, but it is also a day of pride. Lewis Clemens Jr. served 3 tours of duty in Vietnam. He drove to Fort Gordon from the family's Lithonia home to see off his soldier son, Lewis Clemens III.
He's doing the right thing. I feel that every young man and woman should serve their country.
My father went over there before I was even born or whatnot, and even, shortly after I was born, and he was able to overcome that feat. So I think that pretty much, if he can do it, I can do it, and I will do it.
Rosa Scott of DeKalb now has 5 relatives serving with Operation Desert Shield, 2 in the 1015th, her son Sanford and nephew Clayton Carlton.
I'm trying to be brave for his sake. I told him I would not cry, and I'm going to stick to that promise. It's not easy. No, it's not. It's not easy. It's not easy watching any of these young men go off.
These 2 young men are resigned to do their duty, but they reflect a not uncommon feeling among many soldiers that they would rather be citizens than citizen soldiers.
I'm a sophomore in college, and I was really looking forward to starting a new quarter, but, I'm going to have to take 6 months off and do what we got to do and come on back home.
3-year-old Justin Dupser will find it hard to understand why his father is going away.
But trying to explain to a 3-year-old why his daddy's not going to be around is not easy.
Will this be the first time away from your son?
For this length of time, yes.
What do you think about that?
It'll be rough, but gotta do what I gotta do.
It's not any easier for the company commander to say goodbye. Captain Alan Bruns will be responsible for his company. His wife Betty has volunteered to help establish a support group for the unit's families back home.
You are volunteers. You are people who care. You are in the reserve component because you care.
I'm just proud at this moment after 51 days to be in this position right now. Be commander of 1015. You're an outstanding unit. Nice to meet you.
Desert Shield, please move to your formation area for the march.
See y'all, Atlanta.
Okay.
The first leg of a long journey, a 4-hour bus ride to Charleston Air Force Base. The most important virtue a soldier can practice may not be bravery or determination, but patience. The 1015th will have plenty of opportunity to practice patience. The trip to Saudi Arabia begins well. The soldiers will cross the ocean not on a troop transport, but on a commercial jet. Spirits are high, and the troops enjoy the long flight. Nearly a full day after the trip began, soldiers catch their first glimpse of this nation they may have to defend. an oil facility viewed from the window of the aircraft.
Ladies and gentlemen, it has been our privilege to serve you. We wish every one of you a quick and safe return to your country. Thank you and goodbye.
It's after midnight Saudi time. The 1015th waits again, this time for buses to take them finally to their base camp.
Come on to the Sam, we made it. We here. We here.
It's been a long and exhausting journey. The buses rolled past the gates at Fort Gordon in Georgia more than 30 hours ago, and the men and women of the 1015th have just now arrived at a holding area in a province in eastern Saudi Arabia. It's an hour before dawn. There will be no sleep tonight.
Watch out for snakes.
Come on, Sarge, don't be doing that.
I'm serious. Well, we need another.
Unpacking in the desert, in the dark, after traveling halfway around the world is, to say the least, a challenge.
Come on, roll on.
The sun is rising over the Persian Gulf. The waiting is over. The 1015th is part of Operation Desert Shield. John McKnight, Channel 46, News at 10.